everyone. Welcome to the Positivity Podcast. And I'm not going to do episode notes, episode
show
numbers.
Notes.
No, I'm doing show notes. I'm not doing episode numbers because, anyways.
Because why?
Oh, because...
We don't know.
Yeah, I can't...
We lost count.
I keep forgetting, it's 70-something, but...
Is it really that important?
In the big scheme of things, no. I don't think so. My hands are... Look, my hands and my face are so different. Oh, no, they're not. Okay. Sorry. I thought it was bad makeup, but it's crazy lighting. So whatever.
Somebody worries too much.
I do. I'm so bad, which is why we haven't podcasted, because I am slightly vain. Slightly vain. And because, see, what had happened was, it's been since before October.
Wow.
I know. Since I last recorded. I think I recorded by myself the last time. And one of the reasons was because I was in the thick of making things for my sister who was pregnant at the time. I was sewing the baby stuff, and I knitted the baby stuff and made the baby quilt, and was making another one. And in early October, my sister experienced a miscarriage. So that was horrible, and it was still crazy because it's January. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And it's...
And then the kids' birthdays came.
Oh my gosh, yes. And then your birthday.
And my birthday was big blowout.
It was Thanksgiving. My sister came for Thanksgiving.
Yep,
that was a blowout.
That was a blowout.
And then Christmas, and then family stuff. So, lots of crazy family stuff. And then I got sick, which I get sick every year, I think.
Right about this time.
Yeah. But this year I was doing so well because I hadn't got sick, and the house wasn't sick and everything. And then Jason, he had a cold, and he didn't say anything to me because I make sure to Lysol and stuff because I'm a lightweight germaphobe, so I hear. Lightweight. And he just didn't tell me, and Nick spent the night in his room for 2 nights, and then came out sick, and then, I got sick, and there he goes. So, that's why we haven't podcasted. So, I have a lot to share, and Sonia has been... Sonia is a beautiful woman who's been with the podcast for a long time. And she's on Instagram. If you guys want to find me on Instagram... Oh, I don't know. Should I do the whole introduction? Because we might have new people watching.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that.
Okay.
Hi. This is Positive Knitting. This is Nicole.
I am on Instagram and Ravelry. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Hot As Knitter. Hot A-Z-Z. Knitter.
We're not... We don't do the profanity here. As hot as
not in the names. Let's keep it real. So this is my husband Stu. He's Stringer LA or Skate Salt,
depending upon what.
Yeah, on Instagram or wherever. So okay. So anyways, so the podcast just was backseat because it's more important to make sure that the home is okay, that the family is okay, and now that everything is starting to work itself out and settle down. Time to podcast. And Sonia was on me. She got in touch with me on Instagram twice. And she put a note in the podcast group. Because if you follow me on Instagram, you'll pretty much see what I'm doing as far as crafty stuff. And a couple of glimpses of my family members and friends. But mostly crafty stuff. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I have not only been quilting, of course knitting, not so much though, crocheting, but I started quilting and I started cross stitching.
Yes, you have.
Right, and for the holidays, for Christmas.
That's the new one.
That is the new passion. So, I don't have any show notes really, but what I do have is a lot of things to show you guys. 4 minutes in, and I made a 2015 craft goal list. So I thought that would help me get to the things that I want to share with you guys.
Those pictures are blank.
They're not.
They're not blank. They're definitely not
I like
blank.
to keep my options open. So, I'm going to start with knitting. Okay, so do you have any 2015 craft goals?
Me? To finish the quilt ladder that my wife demanded she needed right away. Insisted it. I ran right out and I bought all the stuff and I started making it
that night
because we needed to get it done right away. And then my wife...
I asked for it 2 weeks before you even started.
No, you demanded it. You threatened me.
Right.
Anyway, then as soon as I got started, she's like, "Oh, look at this chicken soup I made you from scratch. What are you doing out in the cold? Come inside and have some hot wine, some chicken soup." And anyway, and it's still sitting there.
Yeah.
That's my craft goal.
Good for you. No, you also, okay.
Oh, and then I got to make your flippy thing.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Okay. So for knitting, last year, at the end of last year, I started the Gramps cardigan, and it is a pattern. I think it costs $6 or $7. I don't know, because the prices on Ravelry keep going up and up and up, like crazy. But Tin Can Knits, I know there was a time, maybe a year ago or two, that she ran a free pattern giveaway. She had a giveaway. Well, it was a coupon code and it was a free pattern, so I got the Gramps.
I didn't partake in that.
I know you didn't.
I know.
Right? So I wanted to get the Gramps cardigan because it's very, I'm trying to see if I have a picture
Gramps,
here.
like...
Yeah, old and retro. And
like Grandpa?
Yeah, like Grandpa. Yeah, it's like
Yo,
slang
Gramps.
for Grandpa, right? So,
Yo, Gramps, what's up?
Yeah, if I do show notes, I'll link it. So anyways, I'm like, oh, I need to do that cardigan for me. It looks easy, and I had just made... It comes in different sizes. It's in sizes from, like, I think it's from baby to adult size, which that's why, well, I think the Gramps was a little Gramps. Anyways, don't quote me on it. I'm still kind of sicky. I'm getting over it, and now allergies are kicking in. But don't quote me on it. Anyway, funny. I'm gonna have to edit that out. So I picked the project, and I went upstairs in the loft to pick out a yarn, and of course I didn't have enough to do 2 colors, because there's a main color and then there's a contrast color for the collar, I think, the cuffs, and then there's like patches on the sleeves.
Ooh,
I know, right? Which is the cutest thing. So I didn't have enough yarn to do it all in one color, so I went in deep stash, and I pulled a couple of skeins of different color yarn, and of course I'm keeping them in my Knitting's My Bag. You see that?
Mm-hmm. Peanuts.
It's peanuts.
Crazy
yeah,
peanuts.
And it's so well made, because right here it says happiness, and it's like the best. It's like she pays attention to details. That's why I love my Knitting's My Bag. And hopefully I'm gonna talk her into making me a bag for my cross stitch.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
She's gonna say no.
Well, she can say no, but I can keep asking. And she won't say no. He doesn't know her like I do. Anyways, so this big skein of yarn is from a trip that's Lois and I, speaking of Knitting's My Bag, took to Solvang. We did a yarn crawl. Was it the yarn crawl?
I don't know. Might have been.
I can't remember. Yeah, we did a yarn crawl, and we went to a shop in Solvang where she got Roby, and I got this big skein of yarn. I think it cost like $35, but it's over 500 yards of yarn. So it worsted weight, 100% merino, and I wanted to use this because I love the colors, right? So I pulled that, and it's going to be kind of a stripe. Not kind of, but it is a stripe cardigan.
Very much so.
Right? So to stripe it, and this is unintentional striping. I guess it is intentional if I'm going one row. Anyways, I'm using some Madeline Tosh. I just had the label. Here it is. Madeline Tosh, Tosh DK, and this is from Deep Stash. And
why does all the yarn sound like it's food related?
What do you mean, Tosh?
Well, Madeline Tosh things makes me think of
Madeline cookies, yeah.
And then the Worcester makes me think of Worcester sauce.
It's not Worcester, it's worsted.
Yeah, but it sounds like Worcester.
But it's not. Okay.
Maybe I'm hungry.
I think you might be. I haven't had food either, but I'm not thinking about food. Like, aren't you on a diet?
Yeah, but
that's it.
You know.
So,
Tosh DK.
Tosh DK. And I'm using this, but even though the Tosh DK, it says it's a DK weight, it fills and knits up like a worsted. That's why I'm using it. So, and I'm going to need another skein of Tosh too. So I went in and I looked, and I had this color. This color is gorgeous, isn't it?
It is actually.
It's
very
super
nice,
gorgeous. Yeah, right. And I think it will go really well with.
Yeah, it will.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So towards the bottom, after this runs out, I'm going to use...
Ended in blue?
Yeah, Madeline Tosh Vintage, and this is worsted weight. which is funny because it says here, look, it says, okay, so the Tosh DK, the needle size is 6 to 7, and the Tosh Vintage, the needle size is 6 to 7. So that's why I'm using it for a worsted weight cardigan. Yeah, and they're both, well, the Tosh DK is 225 yards, and the worsted weight is 200. The Vintage is 200 yards, which is ridiculous. So, and the worsted costs more.
Well, it's probably the pretty blue.
I don't know. And the color, this color is called Dr. Zhivago Sky. That doesn't sound like food, huh? Which is gorgeous. And the silver color is called Antique Lace. So I'm using these. I love this color. And the problem, though, is that if I find one in the same color family, it's probably going to look totally different, because that's what happens a lot of time with Madeline Tosh, but whatever. So I'm thinking I'm either going to get a chocolate color to put in for 2, because that would be all the yarn that I would need. But Madeline Tosh is expensive, and I had to buy these skeins at different times, and I think one of them was maybe a gift. So, but between these two so far, this sweater is over $40 already.
What a bargain.
No, when do I buy $40? No, it's not. What to say? It is for, hand knitted sweater, but I don't know if I would buy myself a $40 sweater.
It's not about the money.
Yes,
it's
it
about
is.
the love.
It is about the money.
And about the passion.
Yeah, right. Who are you? What have you done with my husband? So, did I drop a stitch?
Yes, you did.
Oh, hot dog. I just dropped one. It's okay.
All right, we'll be back in an hour.
I just dropped one. I just put it on there. So this is how far I've gotten on the cardigan. And I'm making the size small, not the size extra small, because I want to be able to wear clothing under it. Even though, ideally, I would make a extra small for myself.
Super extra.
Right. So I did separate for the sleeves, and now I'm just knitting on the body. And the good part about this is that it's I have to knit 13 inches from this point down.
Wow.
So I know. So that's a whole lot of knitting and purling, right? So to make this so far, it's easy. So it's just casting on, knitting, purling, separating for sleeves. And if you guys don't know, and I'm making this on a size 7 needle. So if you guys don't know how to do any of that, I'm telling you, Google. Right? Or YouTube. I live with YouTube. YouTube is everything. So that's one of my 2015 knitting goals, is to finish this sweater. Right? The next one is I want to make a log cabin blanket out of sock yarn. Because remember, I made the log cabin blanket out of...
Where is that? That's kept giving me pimples.
Right. It's on a couch downstairs where the tree, looking at the tree. But, yeah, I made a log cabin blanket for my husband a couple of years ago, but it was out of Cascade Eco, which is alpaca.
Yeah.
And he is allergic to it. It breaks him out. The oils and stuff in it. Yeah, it breaks him out.
It's so comfy.
Right.
And I'll fall asleep on it.
Squishy.
And then the next morning I'll have pimples where I was laying on it. It's really weird.
So I'm going to make one this year out of sock yarn, which is merino and nylon, and I have a ton of it. And I think it's going to be more than a year blanket, but I think it'll be super cute and super colorful and a good way to use up my sock yarn, which I love, and I just don't want to make socks out of, but I just want to use it somewhere, and I think it'd be cute if... Isn't
sock yarn super thin?
Yeah, it is. So I might double up on some. I might double it up. I don't care. I mean, it's used. It'll be used. So that's a plan, right? And then I want to make socks, another pair of socks for me, because I already finished these socks finally that Lois bought me this yarn from Lollipop Yarn, which is gorgeous. I love these, right? I just have to put on the heel, the afterthought heel for this sock. So I want to make me, and weave in the ends, which is nothing. So I want to make me another pair of socks, because I can only get me done one pair of socks, a year. Which is fine. So I want to make one using the Sweet Tomato Heel by Kat Bordy, and it's because that is the heel that I fell in love with originally years ago, and I just want to go back to doing what I know. And the theme for this year, both of us decided, was to keep it simple. just to keep it simple, do what you know. Don't try anything crazy or complicated, because a lot of times when I know that I try to make things complicated, it never works out right. I end up getting frustrated and then I stop doing it, which is ridiculous. Okay? And then I want to make a pair of socks for my husband, but of course this depends on how he acts.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, as of now, he's not getting the pairs. Okay, so that's the goal for the knitting.
Yeah. Write to hotasknitter@gmail.
Why?
Make that man some socks.
You're right.
Put that in the subject line. Anyway.
Whatever. Okay, I'll be sure not to read those. So, my crochet goals for this year are, one of them was to finish my 2014 crochet mood blanket, but I changed my mind. Well, I only have like 12 squares to go. It's a granny square blanket, and I was doing it.
Is it like brown and white?
It's black and white.
Then why is it called mood?
Mood.
Oh, mood. I thought you said moo like a cow.
No, mood. Right. So I have like 12 squares to go, but I already put it up because I'm over that blanket right now. I'm moving on to other things, so I can't. No. So let me cross that out right quick. So the next one is to join blocks from the swap that I participated in last year, which turned out to be a big old headache. Let me tell you. You guys, the first time I did a swap, remember the block swap?
Block swap.
For the Vanna's Choice fan club group, right? First time it was heaven. I did this, I managed to get the blocks done and everything and mailed off, no problems. Positive. This time was horrible.
Oh, this is where you got mad at me because you said we sent them for too expensive because we used the wrong
envelope. That's number one. That was number one. We should send it this way because the envelope is free. And I'm like, it's way too expensive because I don't know what I'm doing, obviously. But anyway, he was wrong. Secondly, it was... You brought it up. I didn't bring it up. Then it was just the people in the swap. I'm going to participate. Okay, I'm pulling out. I can do it. Hold your blocks. It was just ridiculous. And I'm the one who got teenagers going crazy. And, my sister is having trauma. Husband. And yeah, anyways, it was just not a good experience. So I sent off all my blocks. And then I told one lady, because I didn't know if I sent her off the appropriate amount of blocks. And I said, she said I didn't send her the block, so I mailed it off again. I mailed off another block, and I said, look, if you don't receive this block, let me know. Post it in the group.
But didn't she live literally in the middle of nowhere type of thing?
No, that was the moderator. She didn't get her block for 2 weeks after I mailed it.
Wow.
And thank God I mailed it off earlier. And she really put that, it took 2 weeks it was my post office, which is a pain. So then, but this woman was all kind of crazy. It was ridiculous. So I sent her the block and I said, let me know if you get the block or you don't get it. Just send me a message, put it in the group. And I put that in the group, in the thread, in the post so she can see it. Or so everybody can see it. So then life happened. My sister's drama happened. I'm away from Ravelry a lot. And I get a personal message
I remember this.
From the moderator saying that, such and such is saying you didn't send her block. And I'm like hot as fish grease because she could have said something in the group because I check Ravelry on occasion. I'm not in there, but I just skimmed through it, right? There was no messages, no notifications, yada yada. So I went to go look in the group. I checked again, and then I sent the moderator a note letting her know that it's in the group. This woman never sent me a message saying she didn't get the square. I will be more than happy to mail her off another square which we did because some lady who I mailed the square off in the beginning dropped out and sent me back a square, so I just mailed her that square, and it was all kind of madness.
Oh, see, I thought you just bang that square.
No, I didn't. I already had the square, and I'm here. People were sending me square. You have preferences. You can make your preferences. And so mine were no big toe holes and no granny squares.
Yep.
And
that's another one.
And I'm going crazy trying to find squares that are cute and challenging and new and to give people for their preferences. And I'm getting huge toe holes And Granny's...
What she would bring in the car, because we go do morning coffee at Starbucks, and she would bring these in the car, and I would hear these discussions, and she'd be like, "Does this look like a toe?" And I'm like, I could put my toe through that.
He was like, "That's a big toe hole." And I'm like, "This is ridiculous. Like, what is the point of asking?" So, but one of the women who got a block from the same woman who's sitting a big toe hole, but I got a couple of toe holes from people that were experienced, so they must have just not cared. Okay, so, but one of the ladies mailed back her block, like, "No, thank you. This is not what I asked for."
To you?
No, not to me.
No, yeah,
to one of the ladies who had,
I vaguely remember.
Yeah, that was a good one. I was like, that was good. I couldn't do it, but that was good on her, right?
Good on you.
So those blocks are just sitting there because of that whole bad experience. It left a bad taste in my mouth, and I'm like, I'm not joining these blocks because...
You could put that together and give it to
my
daughter that you don't like.
I know. Exactly. That's the point. I'm not giving your daughter that I don't like anything. And she has not acted right this year. As a matter of fact, at the end of this year, she's acting worse. So stop asking me for stuff for her because it's not going to happen. Because I'm not going to waste my time on people who don't appreciate me and don't even like me and tell fibs about me. Okay, sorry. Little personal drama. You guys don't believe what she did. You want to know what she did?
Send your emails to
Hot ass dinner at Gmail. Alright, hit me up on Roundburger. I will tell you what she did and you guys will know. And then you guys can send mail to Stringer LA and say, "Stop asking that woman for stuff." So, okay, so I need to join the blocks for that swap. It may happen, it may not, it depends on how I feel. The main thing is I want to make a hexagon blanket from the Molly Makes book. Now, the funny thing about this is that yesterday, my husband and I were sitting on the couch and we were winding yarn. You want to talk about that experience, about my yarn?
My wife respects her yarn.
Okay,
that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, right. So I'm using, I'm going to make this blanket from the cover of the Molly Makes crochet book, and I purchased this book from, was it Amazon? Oh no, it was Interweave on a super duper duper sale, and I have been wanting this book like, oh, nobody's business, coveting this book, which is horrible, right? So I finally got it. Bible. But there's a certain price that I'll pay for books, and then there's a certain price that I'm like, no way, like $10, and that's probably including shipping, which is cheap. I'm sorry. I got kids. They eat. And the boys are big. Let me tell you, okay. So, I got this book, and I forward this blanket, and I haven't made it. So this year, I was like, what am I going to make? I decided I'm going to make this blanket, but I'm changing the colors because I want to. And also, the main color is going to be gray to fit the bedroom because I want it to go in the bedroom eventually, right? So, yesterday morning, I get up, and I'm starting to pull yarn for this blanket. Now,
that's what we were doing.
That's what we were doing, right? Oh. So, this blanket costs for sport weight yarn. I don't have...
So this whole book is that blanket?
No, it's more than just the blanket. Okay. But this is the main reason that I got it, okay? So the whole book, the blanket costs for sport weight yarn. I don't have a lot of sport weight yarn, and I wouldn't use it for a blanket because I want to use acrylic. I want it to be durable. I want to be able to wash it without worry, and I just don't have the sport weight yarn, right? And then so you needed like 5 balls of the main color, and it's 186 yards of each, right? Well, okay, each ball is 186 yards, so you guys do the math because I'm not.
Like
so
2 miles.
I needed 5 balls of the main color. For us, like he's making it. But yeah, but it's our blanket. So for us, the main color is going to be this gray. And it's a couple of colors in here, but I think it's going to be this gray right here, which is silver gray from Vanna's Choice. And this is 100% acrylic, so I love it. And I have enough balls of it. And
silver gray is one of my favorite colors.
Yeah, it's a great color, right? We kind of like the color. So, this is the main color. And this yarn is about $2.50 when you can find it on sale. So if I run out, I can just get more. It's fine, right? Mm-hmm. So then you need...
But make sure you get it from the same lot.
Right. So then you needed 2 colors and 2 colors each, 2 skeins of each of another 8 colors, right? So that's 16 balls of yarn. Yeah, right. So I'm like, okay, I need to figure out the colors, and then I need to figure out how I'm going to tackle this because they're like put together randomly, and I know that doing something kind of random will drive me crazy.
But you like random, actually.
I do like random, but not on a blanket because I'd be worried that I did this before, or I just can't do random on a blanket.
That's the whole point of random. If you did it before, who cares? So it's
random. I care. Because it wouldn't be so random. If I did it before, how is it random? I would have two of the same colors next to each other because that's how I felt. And then I don't want to dedicate brain power to randomness. That makes sense.
No. That makes no sense.
Well, I don't care. That's how I feel about it. Okay. So that's my line, and I'm sticking to it. So this blanket consists of 196 hexagons that are hexagons plus 14 half hexagons. To make this blanket, you need to know how to do a magic ring, but for me, I chain like 5 and then join and then keep going, right?
So 14 half hexagons, why don't you just say 7?
Huh? No, well, 7 whole ones, yeah, but you can't just do 7 hexagons because you're going to put the half hexagons in certain places at the end of the blanket. Yeah, you see it?
That, yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, so... And then you needed to do a certain number, 49. They said a third. Is that a third? Probably 49. Well, I found the number to be 49. So a third in a starburst pattern, which is a totally different variation. This is how crazy it's getting, okay? So I'm like, really? Really? Okay. So I'm sitting here and so I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do the math. So 196 hexagons. The blanket is going to be 14 by 14, right? So I figured out that I gave each color a number of the alphabet, a letter of the alphabet from A to H, and I will need to do 24 or 25 of each color, right, as the center, right? So then I sat down and I plotted out how the ABC, yeah, it is, but I'm sorry, but it is like just a simple handwritten ABC order of the colors, so I can just say, okay, I did that, I did that, I did that, I did that. So that's how I'm going to do it. Okay.
Very clever.
Yeah, it was kind of time consuming though, like for it to be so random and whoo. So, the main color is gray, and for the color A, it's going to be. And I also, we went through. We did the yarn. It was all messy and tangled because it's worse than waiting acrylic, and I don't care.
There's a couple kittens out there.
It was some socks in there, like pairs of socks. I don't know. So I decided that my main color is going to be white, and then of course I don't have enough of white or that I like because I have some crappy Red Heart Super Saver, which I think Bianca gave me. That's my favorite Steffi, and I'm like, I'm not using that. So it's going to be white or cream. See, white, because I'm using this one right now. White, cream, or like a super light tan. So that's the A color, and then I put it in the baggie.
Put it in the baggie.
Yeah, and I close it, and then I put it in a basket next to the place where I sit on the couch. So in the morning, I could get up and I could just stitch, right? So the B color is... The B color. Where is it? B. I can't remember. Anyways, I got... B... Green. Oh, no, B is red.
Oh.
Because I hooked up
it's way over there.
Yeah, it's red. So I did a mock-up, kind of. So the A color is going to be white. The B color is going to be red. The C is green. And I decided I did not like this green. This green looks a little angry to me. I don't know. This looks like the Grinch's eye, right?
Very Grinchy.
So I'm not.
Pick that up right away.
Yeah. So I'm not going to be using it. This green.
We like the Grinch.
We do, but I don't want to.
His heart grew.
Yeah. But I don't want to use this. I don't want an angry blanket. I don't want to look at it and say, Grinch's eye. I think though, once it gets in the blanket, you won't be able to say, oh, there's a Grinch's eye. So I decided to change the C color to blue, which is a lot better, right?
Yeah.
It is to me. And then the main color is gray.
Right.
Easy. If you guys are thinking about, I know there's one Instagrammer and Ravelry and Instafriend, in particular, Delete, the one who did the cat, who saved the cat, the kitten. Yeah, she posted. Yeah, she posted the picture of the book last night.
This picture?
of this book last night, and I sent my husband because it's kind of like synchronicity, you know. And I put on her Instagram that we just ordered the yarn for this project. Like, so do it. These squares are so easy. Once you do one, you will have it down pat. And I'm telling you, all of this is a magic ring, which is easy. Double crochet, a chain, and that's it. You just need to know how to join and to fasten off and weave it in the ends. But if you weave in the ends as you go, it won't be a problem. So I just thought that I could do 196.
Why don't you say 200?
Well, yeah, because I don't know if I'm going to do the 14 side ones.
Why not?
Because it's already going to be big. It's going to be bigger than what the pattern calls for because I'm using bigger yarn. And I think the pattern calls for like a C hook. I'm using an I, because that goes with the yarn. So it's going to be really big, and it's not going to be worth it, I don't think, to do the 14 side ones. We'll see how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling super ambitious, and
you will,
we will see. So I thought, I could do 196 hexagons in a year, right? So that was it. That's it. Can you believe it? That is all from my crochet.
It's only 2 a week.
Huh?
It's only 2 a week.
Is it?
Yeah, you got to catch up though.
Oh no, I started already. So I started already. I'm going to use the ugly one somewhere. I'm going to hide it, like at the very end and the bottom in the corner. And I have more little ones done. So I had to stop the madness after 30 minutes. But in the next episode, there won't be any knitting or crocheting, only cross stitch, some quilting, and some sewing. I hope to see you guys then. Have a great day.